Hi, this is Dr. Ahilasamy. I am going to talk about my Somalia trip, my Somalia diary. Somalia is an East African country situated in the Horn of the Africa. It is known for its poverty, terrorism, killings, kidnappings, and piracy. Let's see my visit there. It's a flag of the Somalia. I was invited by my best friend Dr. Ahmad Toho of Somalia for a visit there. Day one, I started from Chennai airport by Qatar Airways on 14th June early morning. So I had this trip by the invitation of my very good friend Ahmad Toho, who is an ENT doctor in Mogadishu, who invited for me for 3 days of surgery in Somalia. So I had carried a very big bag and a small bag with lot of instruments weighing nearly 20 kgs of instruments and rest nearly around 35 kg of baggage. This is my Qatar Airways ticket, and they already sent me an e-visa which I carried along with that, and their invitation letter, everything with me, because entry into Somalia is otherwise difficult. My flight from Chennai to Doha is around 3:50 a.m. in the morning. So I was roaming around the lounge areas and duty-free areas. But the flight was little delayed to 4:50 a.m. But finally it landed in correct time in Doha airport in early morning at 7:30 a.m. It was still bright sunshine and the weather was warm. I flew by this Dreamliner flight, which was quite very big, spacious, and Boeing flight, and they gave us a nice food too. This was in the Doha airport. It was a quick transfer. We hardly had around 1.5 hours of transit time. There, my friend Dr. Praglada, who came from Bangalore, I met him, and I was taking him to Mogadishu along with me to help for these surgeries in Mogadishu. So we accompanied each other to Mogadishu. This was the Death on the Nile movie, which I was watching in the flight, and they give a nice lunch in the flight too, egg with bread and some potatoes. This was the flight map where you can see the travel from Doha to Mogadishu, which is the capital of Somalia. Both lie in the same timeline shown, so there is no time difference between Doha and Mogadishu. This is the after landing in the Mogadishu airport. It's a very deserted airport. Hardly you can see any planes in the airport, and even embarkation from the flight to the airport, you walk. There is no bus or lift to go into the airport directly. So my friends came there to pick me from the immigration directly and took me to their vehicle, and we went to the hotel, Johara International Hotel, where we stayed for the 4 days. So it's a nice 3-star hotel. This is my friend Dr. Ahmad Toho, an ENT surgeon who invited me. I met him in the hotel, and we had a good Somalian lunch. That's a rice, spaghetti, fish, banana, etc. And this is my brother, my friend Pragalada is having lunch along with me. The Somalian lunch is very tasty, but little bland to our taste. So I carried my chili flakes and peri peri masala, which I add it to it. So then we had a good evening post lunch rest. Then we had a tea, coffee. Prahlad had a black tea, and I had a camel milk tea, which was very tasty. I was tasting for the first time camel milk. And this ad they are having for camel milk. So after the tea, we left the hotel to the hospital to see the patients in the evening. That's on the day one. It's a travel. Uh, the hospital persons they came to pick us from the hotel. It's a Toyota Harrier vehicle. The roads are all potholes and bumpy roads, even though it is within the city, and you hardly see any bus, train, or taxis. Everywhere you see red colored autos. There we reached the Al Izan hospital. There, this is my friend OPD chamber in Al Izan hospital. There we saw the OP patients. He was examining the patients with the endoscope, and we saw the findings, and we allotted the cases for the next day's surgery. What was the diagnosis depends on that, what surgery to be done the next day, and we planned this thing from evening to night till 7:30. We had a examination of most of the patients which are planned for the day 2, that is day 1 of the surgery. Patients were very cooperative, and Dr. Ahmad Doho did endoscopy for most of the patients, and he gave a description of the detailed history of each patient which he has taken already, and he has selected nearly around 30 patients for the 3 days to be operated. Finally, we end up operating around 28 cases in 3 days.
The patient came with present with right wheelchair, surgeon wound.
This was Toho's END OPD in Al Lisan Hospital.
The charge was a small amount.
It is a 60-bedded hospital, multi-specialty hospital. Seeing the patients, we returned to the hotel, took little rest, and then we had the dinner. That's the spread of the salads, rice,
This is
vegetarian.
mutton or beef?
Meat.
Cow.
Camel.
Camel.
Gill.
Camel. Camel. Fish. This
It's
is
a dry fish.
this also fish.
Yes.
This is
Chicken.
Roasted
also?
chicken.
This one.
Penis.
Beans,
Okay, this one.
chapati,
Chapati
something
and
like dosa.
Malwah.
Malwa. These
These
are
are all
dals.
beans of various types.
Penis.
Okay.
Somali food.
Somali food.
Yeah.
These are Somali food. Okay. Finally, banana. What is this?
Camel.
Camel. Okay. Camel.
This is raw camel meat, which they use for cooking. This is my dinner plate.
Yeah. Here is
Rice.
a sumptuous
Ghee rice.
These are all
Somali food.
Somali foods. This is camel.
Ah,
Camel.
tasty.
Very tasty.
Good.
Dinner, Somali food.
This is my friend Praglada having dinner. I took camel, he took chicken. Then we went to sleep. This is day 2. So morning we got up, have pet coffee in the room, then went for the breakfast session. Coffee, milk, tea, etc. This is the breakfast section.
First,
Bread,
it's dosa. Two types of dosa.
dosa, like two kind of dosa.
Yes.
Potato,
Potatoes. Lot of
beans.
variety.
That's a liver,
Lentils. This is scrambled egg.
chicken,
Chicken.
potato fries,
No,
beans,
it's,
and
it's chicken.
watermelon.
And always banana.
But what to eat for the dosa?
It's recording, huh? Oh, yeah, recording. Yeah. Those I took this thing, Chennai.
I was checking whether the video was recording.
Yeah.
I had some liver. Maybe that's cow liver or a sheep liver.
No, meat I don't eat in the meat in the morning. So, yeah.
But no bread,
The bread is there.
not Indian bread.
Yeah, no. Fruits. Okay.
Me and my friend had a very good breakfast. I usually eat less in the morning, but here I ate well because I had a lot of surgeries, and we need stamina to operate till in the evening. That was my breakfast plate. We both enjoyed the breakfast, and that's a breakfast, and then here a black coffee. I too had a milk coffee. That was a bill every time we sign and give, but finally the bill was settled by the hospital people who invited for this visit. Then the vehicle took us to the hospital. So the roads, most roads are with potholes and everything. You rarely see here and there tar roads or the metal roads, but everywhere you can see the red colored Bajaj autos which are from India. They say that it is from India. The roads are not very thickly people you hardly see here and there people, even though it is city. But there are peoples with that is army people, policemen with guns roaming around, doing securities frequently in the main roads. So we always mostly took the bypass roads and our lanes to avoid the security checkings. Here we enter the back gate of the hospital. We carried the surgical equipments along with us. This entrance of the hospital. From there, the friend doctor took us to the operation theater. Then I had endoscopy ear surgeries as well as endoscopy sinus surgeries till evening, and my friend Praglada did on the other theater microscopy ear surgeries. So the working atmosphere was little difficult, little different, because we are not comes to these nurses and the anesthetists, and the language which they speak and what we speak in understand, it's a difficult pronunciation for them to understand and everything. So it's a little hardship, and we worked hard, did a very good job doing surgery. The operation OT was on the
OT complex.
fourth floor. From there you can see the Indian Ocean Sea. There are greenery, even though it's a desert-like place. You can see tall buildings, greeneries. Everything is seen from the operation theater, doctor's lounge
And Praglada sipping the coffee.
area. Yeah, my friend Praglada is sipping a cup of coffee in between surgeries. After an sinus surgery, I'm moving to the endoscopy ear surgery and keep rotating surgeries. And day one, of surgery, that is day 2 of our visit. We did around 8 surgeries. This is my anesthetist, who is an Syrian who has worked in Germany too. Now he's giving a wonderful anesthesia, but all he gave are all general anesthesias, because it was very difficult for me to converse with the patients in Somali language. So they gave me general anesthesia for all the patients. This is a lunch. We asked for rice as well as fish, so they gave us rice with fish meals, which was very delicious. As usual, we added some peri peri masala and had the food. This is from the front side of the operation OT on the opposite road. Again, after finishing surgery in the evening, we had a OPD session for the next day's surgical patients. And I too saw the patients, the Somali patients, and planned cases for the second day's operation, that is day 3 of our visit. Okay, video over.
Video now.
So next day we operated around 12 cases. We start the surgeries at around 8:30 in the morning, and it goes up to 4:30 in the evening. This with the patients. So after seeing the patients, they took us to the hotel.
Oh, that's airport.
On the way, which is a crowded area, they showed the October 14th, where there was a deadly blast, where nearly 5 years ago,
3 years ago, car
1,000 people died.
this area,
This area,
1,000 people died.
1,000.
1,000 people. Very traffic area.
Yeah, traffic area. Very jam area, you know.
Okay.
The big car for the
Big-
soldiers is in this area.
Okay, this area.
This hotel, all down.
All down, okay.
ICRC down. Do you know?
Okay. Whole.
This hotel, this is hotel.
Okay.
That's the. This
So on main road, where there is a tar road was little better.
Drink coffee now.
So hotel entrance, you can see a big iron rod
of the
to
India.
prevent the terrorists entering, and the gate will not be very impressive, and a very tall, around 15 feet or 20 feet tall iron gate. All these are for security purpose, and everywhere you go, hospital, hotels, everywhere, the gate will be like this, and they will be guarded by the machine gun wielding security people. After thorough security, then only they allow us inside. Very well. So there is no beauty in the entrance gate like in
Tight
India
security.
there,
Very tight security.
but it is a tight security everywhere. Then I had some leisure time in the rooftop of the hotel, where I shoot some eagles flying in the sky. So then we freshened ourselves, went to the cafeteria, had Prahlada had a coffee, and I had a black tea. In fact, it was a cardamom infused black tea. It was tasting different, not like our black tea. It's more cardamom infused black tea. I enjoyed too.
Having my evening tea.
A different taste. Then we went to the room, took some rest. Then we came out for the dinner. This was the dinner on day 2. Friend is having, and every time we used to have a banana. Banana will be always accompanied with any food, morning, evening, dinner. And you see the peri peri masala, which we add to the food to make it more spicy and tasty. Day 3. So that's a breakfast session. Breads, also liking egg,
Goat meat.
potatoes, peas.
Today this is chicken and this is scrambled egg today. That's good.
Again, this day, second day of surgery, that is day 3, we had a lot of surgeries. We had a good breakfast to work for long. That's why our plates are filled with a lot of foodstuffs. And we
Breakfast.
really enjoyed the Brazilian,
Raglat.
Somalian cuisine very much.
These are all
The
lentils,
peas,
bread, potato,
that's a minced meat,
goat
goat
minced
meat, scrambled eggs.
scrambled egg, sweet,
We both really enjoyed the
mint juice.
Somalian food. Then, after having a heavy breakfast, we traveled to the hospital. There also they see the entrance door, very big iron door. They opened after seeing us. This outpatient department area. It's a Muslim country. All the people are Muslims. It's a day 3 surgery. I'm doing an endoscopy ear surgery. And I was alternate doing endoscopy ear surgery as well as endoscopic sinus surgeries.
Or you do it at the end? Okay.
On day 2, it was relatively easy. The OT technicians and the OT scrub nurse learned from the day 1's works, and they were more easily adjustable and assisting better than day 1 to us, and that made us life little easier, and we could do more surgeries on day 3, that is second day of our operation session. There are a lot of flies. You can see that mosquito killer, they are kept in the OT to kill the flies. This country has a lot of flies everywhere. Okay, this is again an endoscopy ear surgery. They had better equipments and everything. Still, I carried my own surgical instruments, but camera monitor system, that's okay. So in between surgeries, we had some snacks, that's a samosa or sambusa, along with the black coffee, tea, etc. we were having. That's a samosa, they call us sambusa. This is the samosa. This is fish samosa. See inside fish samosa, and with the black coffee. Fish samosa. They get biscuits and tea, coffee, milk powder, everything in the doctor's lounge, and in between cases we could take it. After finishing the cases, I left to the hotel at around 3:30. This OT technician, Mr. Abdullah, took me to the hotel in the vehicle, and he explained me various places while traveling.
Salman Khan.
He's a big fan of Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, and everything.
Okay.
Everybody, they used to love our Hindi movies, even though
So you like
there was
Salman
no
Khan?
cinema theaters there in Somalia at present.
My friend Salman Khan.
Your friend is Salman Khan.
Salman Khan.
He was a king?
Of Hawataka. No, woman.
Woman.
Woman, yeah. legends of Somalia.
Okay, okay.
So I was killing Al Shabaab 1,000 peso.
1,000 pesos.
1,000 peso.
14th October 2000.
He again showed me that October 14th area.
Very dangerous. Now it is dangerous. No.
No, now it's busy.
Then we showed them malls
So mall.
on the
when are you-
sides.
Mall.
This time we
Mall.
were going through the main part of the city, so there was a little bit trafficy, not very bad, but a bit. Some mall, Benadier Mall.
Bajaj is more. Bajaj auto. Favorite.
From India.
I was very tired, so I decided to go to the room, have a good bath, then had my lunch at around 3:30 p.m. That's see the hotel. They have the big iron gates. After verification, they open and send us in. So after rest, I had my lunch in the hotel itself. This time I asked for rice with little salads and shrimp. It was very tasty and very delicious. After having a good meal, I took some rest before having evening tea and then going to the hospital to see the next day's patients. So shrimp was very fresh and very tasty, and I had a very nice lunch on day 3. After a good lunch, I had a rest. Then afternoon nap, came for a tea. I had a tea. See the Friday, the reception area is vacant because everybody has gone for prayer. After that, the hospital people came and picked up me for the OPD to see some patients. Saw a patient, the small Somali boy, cute. So we are supposed to leave for the beach at 5 p.m. because the OPD was finished at 7:30. So we went to the beach little late. That was the Indian Ocean beach. The climate was pretty pleasant. The temperature is around 25 to 30 degrees. And with the evening around 8 p.m. the gentle sea breeze. Here I am with Dr. Praglad and Toho. So we had a good time. We ordered some seafood platter, then fruits platter as well as fresh juices. It took us nearly 1 hour for the seafood platter to come. So meanwhile we were having a good chat with the hospital authorities of the Al-San hospital and my friends. Slowly, after half an hour, the fresh juices came and the foods.
Yes.
And, the evening was a very pleasant evening. We didn't expect it was the
For
elite
me,
hotel, sea
300 is
facing,
Coimbatore. 450.
sea incorporating hotel. It's a elite hotel. We didn't go separate to the beach, but through this hotel you can go to their private beach something, and you can see people thronging into the beach. Being a Friday, as time passes, the crowd is going more and more on the beach sand. It's a crystal clear white sand Lido beach. So we were talking about the various things in their country and their safety and everything. Gradually, the fresh juices and the cut fruits came. We slowly enjoyed them.
Here, mango here. All these fruits from here.
Very fresh.
It is a really a good evening to have, and you can see the sun coming out of the clouds of the Indian Ocean. Looks like the moonrise. Sorry, moonrise. Moon coming out of the clouds. Beach. People enjoying the beach, and you can see the lovely moon in the sky backdrop and the gentle breeze, gentle waves of the Indian Ocean. Finally, our seafood platter came. There's a lot of lobster, shrimp, scallops, calamari, and fish, all grilled to a fine taste along with chapatis and sauce. We all shared and had a very good time, very good dinner, in fact. This is the shell of the lobster after we finished. So that's a Elite Hotel. Then after finishing the dinner, we had a walk on the lovely white pristine clear sand of the beach along with the gentle waves. After doing that, we came out to take the car, but on the road we can see big machine gun laden vehicles of the security people guarding that area, and more vehicles, patrolling vehicles with gun laden security people. So day 4, the final day of our surgery, that's the third day of surgery. So we had a good breakfast. As usual, lovely Somali food enjoyed. Then we took the cab to the hospital. On the way, we can see the gun-laden people, security people have been a habit of seeing these people on the streets and main roads of the Somalia. Then we started the third day surgery. Again, endoscopic ear surgeries and so less sinus surgeries. The whole day went off. I operated till 2-3 o'clock, and Dr. Prahlada operated till around 5 o'clock. So by the third day, these the OT staffs, anesthetists, everybody was tuned to my thing, and there was a good cooperation, and we could finish such a little fast. This with the anesthetist as well as the OT staffs having a selfie time. This is the Indian Ocean seen from the OT doctor's lounge. That's the 4th floor, and you can see the tall rising buildings from the OT complex, which is on the 4th floor. You can see the buildings. After finishing 2 o'clock, I left to the room to have a bath, a rest, and have a lunch. This is my Doha International Hotel, my room. Bath, I had a bath, then had a lunch. As I asked them, they arranged some rice, salads, and shrimp, which as usual I had it in the room, and then had a good afternoon nap. Then got up, had a bath, then had a coffee. This time this is camel milk coffee, which is very tasty. It's quite thicker, but I couldn't find any smell between cow's milk as well as camel milk, but really very tasty. This is how they are taking the camel milk. So after the coffee, the hospital owner as well as the officials from the hospital, my friend doctor came to the hotel, took us to a recreation place. That's behind is the Somali flag, and I'm with Toko as well as Praglada. Behind is Somali flag, and this is Somali emblem behind, and they gave us the mementos, certificates, everything, and it was a big function there. I couldn't believe that. So they were so happy. We were also equally so happy. Everything went on very well. The surgeries, surgical sessions, and everything. And we had a good time. And their hospitality was spellbound. These are the mementos and the certificates they presented us. This is a small Somali child with who was playing on the turf. So enjoyed. Then after all the ceremonies, then we had a dinner. That's a rice, which I asked rice as well as seafood. So they gave 3 types of fish. The one dried fish and grilled fish, and another one green type fish. We had a good time. That's the owner of the hospital, ophthalmologist. Then we went to the hotel. On the way, we went to a supermarket. We asked for a supermarket because our bags were little. We had given some equipments and everything to the hospital, so the bags became little empty. So to fill that, we bought some coffee, tea, chocolates, and perfumes from the supermarket. It was a high-end supermarket, quite big and good, comparatively to any bigger better supermarket of Chennai. It has all the fresh produce, meats, fish, everything, whatever you name, you can get it. We both fought there. Here the currency is in Somalia is US dollar only. In Somaliland they are shilling. Otherwise the whole of Somalia it is US dollar. So some fresh fish they are kept for sale in the supermarket. Some of the products I bought it and I was carrying home for my family on display. Day 5, 18th June, Saturday. So morning we had a good breakfast. Then 9:30 we checked out of the hotel. We are proceeding to the airport. On the way they invited us to visit the hospital to say a final bye. So the hospital OPD was quite busy, being the previous day Friday and everything. But you could see flies sitting everywhere. That was one of the small nuisance in Somalia. Otherwise everything pretty fine. So we said goodbye to them. Then you can see people, children playing ball on the streets everywhere in Somalia, like how in India people, children play cricket on the streets. And everywhere and many places you can see the gun and security personnel. And once you are used to it, you don't have any fear of these things, because it is a part and parcel of their life and for the safety and security of the people. And there are a lot of checkpoints throughout the city and everywhere, and people used to it. And even in the airport, we have reached the airport. From the airport gate to the airport main building, there are several places checking, and they kept the car open, luggages open, used the sniffer dogs to check the luggages and everything. The security was 5-level security was there. I have visited several countries, but I haven't come across such a security, whether it is inside the airport or within the airport complex or within the city. I haven't come across such a tight security anywhere in the world. So much of security, but inshallah we were all safe throughout the whole trip. As security, sniffer dogs were being used to sniff the bags, and a final bye bye to Somalia from the airport with the Prahalada, my dear friend. So waiting for the plane to get in, hardly any plane. We have to walk and go to the plane and climb the flight. There is no bus or the ladder to connect to the plane in this big capital city, international airport. This is so got into the plane, finally into the plane of the Qatar Airways to Doha, then from Doha to Chennai. So the plane is on their on the runway. The plane is only 10 to 15% seats filled. Sitting in the plane was thinking all the 3-4 days of activities and everything, the lovely foods we tasted, comparing the samosas, those are like foods, noodles, fish, everything to our Indian foods. We had a great time, and remembering the hospitality of the people and the way they took us from the airport to the hotel, to the hospital, back to the hotel, and back finally to the airport, to the immigration was awesome, and very good hospitality that we cannot. And finally, I couldn't even forget the tasty camel milk coffee and other things, and always in the mind lingering these gun wielding security personals. And the Lido beach and the beautiful scene at night. We had a good evening there in the beach, and the moon coming out of the clouds like a moonrise. Finally, we are leaving out of the Aden Abdullah Airport, Mogadishu, the capital of Somalia. We are on the runway, and a final thank you, bye bye to Mogadishu, Somalia. Hope to come again back to Somalia if God permits, and have a good time like this again. And here the airport, the runway is very close to the sea, that is the Indian Ocean, and the beauty of landing is very beautiful, as if the flight when it lands, it looks like it is going to nosedive into the sea. It is taking off from the airport, from the runway, and you can see the sea very close to it. It is one of the airports deadliest landing, looking like airport in the world, because the sea is so close. One another airport I had been to is Maldives airport, where also the landing will be so into the sea, because the sea is very close to the runway. You hardly see any much big flights in the airport, only hardly few small flights parked on the sideways. The plane is about to take off from the runway. And you can see how close the Indian Ocean is to the runway. Finally, thank you, bye bye to Mogadishu, Somalia this time. Hope to be here again, inshallah. If God permits. Bye bye, bye bye.
Take a place to visit and do this thing. Trip and camp.
This lunch they gave, the smashed potatoes and beef curry, as well as some veggies, For the lunch, this final route from the Doha to Chennai. I land at midnight 2:30 p.m. in Chennai on Sunday early morning. Bye bye, see you.